So Fox Business Network debated a $2 million price tag on a pharmaceutical drug to save dying babies. This is really something. You would think that this is not debatable and that everybody would go, oh shit, that's fucked up. Maybe we should fix that. But of course, when you're in the belly of the beast of the corporate propaganda network, they're going to debate it. Hey, at least they had on a dissenting voice who was like, I think I will take the side that it is bad that we have pharmaceutical drugs for babies that cost $2 million. Again, crazy, but take a look and then we'll discuss.
Welcome back. High prescription drug prices, a new treatment that could save infants' lives, maybe getting a shocking sticker price, over $2 million. Novartis believes the drug that treats spinal muscular atrophy, a disease that typically strikes infants and can kill them before the age of 2 years old, will justify the seven-figure price tag. Joining us now is Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, also known as Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike, it's great to see you this morning.
Great to see you.
What do you think about this?
I think it's a bittersweet story. First, you have a genetic disorder known as spinal muscular atrophy, where children generally that have the worst form of the disease die before the age of 2. That's a horrible condition to be born with. Now, if you have a medication that can treat that illness, and not just treat it, Maria, cure this illness, that's magical. That's amazing. We're making great progress. But then when you hear that it's going to be at such a high cost, at $2 million for a single treatment, that's scary, not only to patients, but also to insurers. As a doctor, my thing is, we need to have access to medications. We need to have reasonable prices for medications. If you're going to have a life-saving treatment, a curing treatment, but it's unaffordable, what's the use of even having that treatment?
But these children will get this. We need to be clear about this, Dr. Mike. These children, if they have this genetic disorder and there's a way to treat it and save their lives, they will get it. The hospitals and their doctors will make sure that they get it one way or another.
Well, how many infants suffer from this?
300 a year are born in the U.S. with this type of...
Doesn't the U.S. government have an orphan drug law that provided assistance to make sure that small number of patients get this kind of treatment?
I'm not familiar with that law. I know
Orphan drug law.
I know that what becomes difficult for patients, regardless of what condition they have, is that it's difficult to treat pharmaceuticals as a typical commodity. For example, if a parent has a child born with spinal muscular atrophy, they can't choose not to purchase this medication. So whatever it costs, whatever insurance plan they have to buy, they're going to pay for it.
Do we know what it costs to develop this drug?
The cost is high, and that's what Novartis is saying the reason for this huge price tag is. But when there's been independent evaluation of this drug and what it should cost based on evaluation of a quality life score, life years gain scores, they say that the price that's being set right now is too high.
Yeah,
Obviously,
sure.
Novartis is arguing that, and I think that it needs to be heavily justified as why a drug needs to cost at such a high rate.
Real quick on the measles, the World Health Organization urging international travelers to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I think that it's bad that we have a $2 million price tag on medicine for dying babies. Get off it, get off it, get off it, get off it. And so vaccines vaccines. There's vaccines that are an issue with measles and stuff. And let's talk about this instead. Now, to be fair, I don't know if they're actually like, get off it, get off it, get off it when he starts voicing an opinion that's reasonable. But it could have been that they had a hard break and they had to squeeze in another segment, but it was an insanely quick transition that made you go, wait, what? Are we off the topic already? It seems like we should probably linger on this topic. And I love the people who are trying to rationalize it. Like, yep, how much does it cost to create the drug? I mean, research and development. Did you know that pharmaceutical companies spend anywhere from 2 times more to 19 times more on advertising and marketing than they do on research and development? And then they turn around and go, we had to charge you $14 quadrillion to save your life because of all the research and development we're doing. We've spoken about this before. I don't know if it's the case for this particular drug, but there are countless drugs where the research is done at universities funded by taxpayers, and then pharma companies swoop in there, get the rights to the medication, and then resell it back to people and jack it up and price gouge you. Think about that. So you pay for the upfront, research on it, and then they come in and grab it, and then jack it up and have a giant profit margin and resell it to you even though you paid for the initial investment. I mean, our system is fucked up, and we have a system where big pharma executives and Wall Street executives and the military-industrial complex, they own the government. So they get whatever the fuck they want. And then we're at a point now in America where, I mean, show this clip to somebody who lives in the UK, where they are debating on a major news network. They're debating $2 million price tag to save a baby's life. Good or bad? And it was like 3 versus 1. Only one dude was like, well, you know, this, I don't think so. This seems a little much. Well, isn't there a program that says that something maybe kind of will take a little bit off the price tag or whatever? And I love how everybody else is like, I don't know. No, maybe. Who knows? They're just so flippant about it. Like, oh, baby dies, doesn't die, gets the medicine or not. And then one of them says, these children will get the medication. We should be clear about that. Oh, should we? Because I don't know, if you're a kid who grew up in fucking Harlem and you go to the underfunded hospital there, are they really going to trot out a Novartis drug worth $2 million and say, oh, here, no problem. And by the way, if people get it, if they do get it, then what? Then what? Are they just in debt the rest of their lives? I was reading tweets. There was a tweet. It's a Medicare for All account that tweeted, like, tell me the moment that you got radicalized by our healthcare system. And there were people who were saying, you know, my dad had Parkinson's or my dad had this drug and he was getting treatment and it was taking a long time and he knew that there was no light at the end of the tunnel. So he killed himself so as to not bankrupt the family. Let me break that down as simple as possible to you. You have a chronic illness that is going to cost a fucking arm and a leg in order to pay for your treatment of that illness. In the process of paying for that treatment, you're draining the bank account and you're screwing over your wife and your kids because all that money that was going to be used in the future is now being drained on your medical bills. You have a tremendous sense of guilt over that. So you kill yourself so as to not burden them. That's our healthcare system. That's our healthcare system. I was just reading a story the other day. Americans are now hopping in buses. You want to talk about a caravan? You know how Trump's always caravan coming into America. Sad. Caravan from Mexico. Sad. There's a caravan of Americans going to Canada to get cheaper medication because they can't afford it here. Our system's broken, man. If you're not fighting for Medicare for all, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Because you don't understand what's going on in this country if you're not fighting for Medicare for all, or you have no heart. Now, I was doing some research because I was like, this is insane. Let me look this up. You know what the situation is in the UK? If you get sick and you need medicine, you go to the pharmacy, and it costs between $10 and $20. And then it literally says on a label, so let's say your drug costs like $8,000 for whatever reason. It's an expensive drug or whatever. You need a lot of it. Doesn't matter. It says on the fucking thing on the bottle, paid for by the UK taxpayers. So you got to pay 10 or 20 bucks, and it says paid for by the UK taxpayers. See, this is, guys, everything is a matter of choice. Our government has, and the elites in our system have, they have made a choice to tell you to go fuck yourself and to tell you to pay up $2 million for some treatment for your dying baby. That's a choice. That's a choice our society made. Now, we also made a choice to spend fucking trillions of dollars on the F-35-2, a new fighter jet when we didn't even need it because the old ones were just fine. A new fighter jet, which, by the way, didn't work for fucking like years. Now it's finally working. But trillions of dollars on research and development for that. $7 trillion in Iraq. $2 trillion in Afghanistan. The list goes on and on. $4 billion a year as a subsidy to ExxonMobil. When they're already one of the most profitable corporations in the world, they need taxpayer money, billions of dollars every year? Are you fucking kidding me? You have to be kidding me. So we've made a choice as a society, what we're going to value, what we're going to pay for, what we're going to take off the table, what's going to be considered a public good, the commons, versus what's going to be considered private. It's been a choice. So it's not like written in the laws of nature. Like, what do you mean? I mean, it has to be the case that a pharmaceutical company charges $2 million or your fucking baby dies. That's what it is. If you think that we can't do anything about that, you've been thoroughly, thoroughly brainwashed by our system to the point where it's comical. Because we can do something about that. You know what we can do about that? Subsidize it. You know what we can do about that? Make all of our medications like that. Have a universal coverage system for medications where all you have to do, just copy the UK system. Yeah, okay. You go to the doctor, you pay $10 or $20 out of pocket, you're good. That's it. That's your medication. That's it. Doesn't matter how much it costs, you're good. Taxpayers are going to pay for it, man. Taxpayers are going to pay for it. What do I want my tax money going towards? What do you want your tax money going towards? Do you have any idea? I would write my tax check with a goddamn smile on my face if I knew every time I was writing that check, a large percentage of it is going towards healthcare and pharmaceutical medications for people who need it. I would love to pay my taxes if I knew, listen, this is going towards healthcare for people. This is going towards pharmaceutical medication. This is going towards free college. This is going towards wiping the debt slate clean for all the people who are up to their eyeballs in debt from college. This is going towards a program which has vacation for everybody, a certain amount of time per year guaranteed by law. I would love universal daycare. Hey, let's have a system where it's universal daycare and people don't have to go broke fucking because they got to go work and somebody's got to watch the kid. They don't have anybody to watch the kid. Other developed countries have done this, man. I want all of my money going towards that. I mean, I'm not for abolishing the military, but we could definitely cut it 50%. I mean, we have, 190 military bases around the world, and you're going to tell me that makes sense? Fuck out of here, man. If we had priorities that made sense, I would pay my taxes with a smile on my face, dude. With a smile on my face. But that's not the system we have. And we also have assholes in suits and ties on TV arguing, well, maybe it has to be the case that it's $2 million or your baby dies. Go fuck yourself, you corrupted goon.